Okay, so welcome everybody. And then those that are joining, will if you miss some of it as the others join, we will have the recording that we will share. So I'm Rebecca Davis, and I direct the Office of Global Programs in the School of Social Work at Rutgers. And Nancy and Jen, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Nancy Schley, and I'm the Associate Director of Field Education, Practicum Learning in New Brunswick.
Hi, my name is Jian Zhong Huang. I'm a faculty in the School of Social Work and the faculty lead for the Taiwan program.
Yeah, and so I direct the Romania program. So I'm going to go first and present the Romania program. Just to clarify, the Romania program is a practicum learning program. So it is a field education program. In the month in country, and I'll go into detail about this, but the month in country, and then with the preparation work before you leave, and once we come back, that's the equivalent of a semester field education program. And then Taiwan, he will present about Taiwan, and Taiwan is a 3-hour credit elective. And we accept social work students, and sometimes we do have non-social work students that participate as well. Usually in the social sciences in some way. So let me pull up my my PowerPoint here. And you see too, yeah, you've got it. Okay. Okay, so and we'll take questions. If you can put questions in the chat, and then perhaps Nancy, you can monitor that too.
Sure.
If you can, and then for those that we need to answer later, we can do that. As I was just saying, this is a field education program, service learning, we call it service learning. And so there is a required 1-week preparation before you go. And that includes attending orientations. We have some orientations with the some of the host agencies that we work in there. You'll be do a preliminary on your learning contract, review of some of the literature. We have some readings that we want you to do, and then meet with other students going. We usually have around 11, 12, 13, something like that. And then in country, you'll finalize your learning contract. You'll participate in regular supervision, both individual and group, with me as well as with your supervisors in the field placement. You have required reflection assignments to do, and then of course complete your hours. We count the whole experience. So there'll be excursions, there'll be other things that we do together, as well as individually. So it's the whole experience that we consider to be part of the practicum learning. And then it'll be about an equivalent of a week when you get back. There's a final reflections to do, as well as evaluation, and also a final assignment. So the dates for this program, this is where Romania is. It's not a country that most students say, I never thought about going to Romania, and then fall in love with it. So the arrival is on May 15th. That means that you would need to leave on Tuesday because it's an overnight flight, usually through somewhere in Europe, and then arrive in Cluj on May 15th. And then the departure, the last day of placement is June the 12th, and then Thursday is the departure. Now, some students, you make your own arrangements. We will make some recommendations of what flights to take, but some students decide they want to go a little bit early and explore on their own. The hotel where we stay is not a full service hotel, and so the arrangements, I have to make those arrangements. The rooms have already been reserved for these dates. So if you do want to go early and stay later, then there are plenty of places in Cluj where we'll be. Just a little bit about Romania and why Romania. Romania was really kind of the origins of the global child welfare reform movement in the early 1990s. With the fall of the Soviet Union, a lot of the information came out about these huge childcare institutions known as orphanages. But many of these facilities, the children in these facilities had living parents, and many were placed because of a variety of family situations. Poverty often was the one. And so this is one of the things you'll learn about, is kind of that evolution from the use of orphanages to family reunification and family-based care within the context of kind of a broader global movement. And I lived and worked in Romania for 10 years as we in the 90s and early 2000s, as we worked to deinstitutionalize many of these facilities. So that's a little bit of the history, and I still work with some of my former students that also work in these programs. So this is our host city, Cluj. It's relatively, it's not a huge city, about 500,000, counting all the students. And it's very easy to get around. We do a lot of walking, public transportation. So it is a neat place. We stay in the University Hotel. These are rooms with 2 single beds. It has a kitchenette and a bathroom with a full bath with shower in each room. And it's located actually in the university sports park. So it's a very safe and easy place to access. So I'm just going to go through some of the placements that we do. So this is the Foundation for Elderly Support and an Elderly Day Center. There are different activities. And one of the issues that students always ask about is the language barrier. Romanian is a Romance language, closer to Portuguese, but those that are Spanish speakers generally can pick up Romanian fairly quickly. But with the language barrier, you're doing a lot of group activities, games, sports, different things like this. And these, we've been taking students here since late 2000, 2007, 2008. So many of the clients are very familiar with having the students come. This Autism Transylvania, this is a program for children who have been diagnosed on the autism spectrum. It is more of a clinical program, so they do different kinds of rehabilitation education programs. So you're working directly with some of the children. This is an after-school program, Familia Ragacita. So again, different activities. These are children that participate in these programs because they need some kind of remedial work in terms of their school, homework, and things like that. Many of the children are what we consider as Roma. So gypsy is the term that's been used for this population, but Roma is the correct term to use. And many of these children are highly discriminated against and often need the added support. Another program that also has an after-school program is the Romanian Foundation for Children, Communities, and Families. They also have a program for teenagers as well. And so these are programs that usually start around 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or something like that in the afternoon. This is a very popular program. This is the Day Center for Adults with Disabilities. As you can see, there are a lot of different activities that are going on. And the students are engaged in yoga, music, and other kinds of games. And then there are other things that we do. We participated in Cluj Pride events. We've done some activities with some of the Ukrainian refugees, particularly the teenagers, and have some lectures, usually discussions in the classes. And then you have free time. So you have free time in usually the evenings. And then we will have an excursion at least one weekend. So you have 4 weekends there. So other weekends, students take trips and do other things. There's hiking. We have group meals. There's lots of coffee shops. And so plenty of things that you can do. On our excursion, we generally go to Dracula's Castle, which is about 3 hours from Cluj, and also visit the bear sanctuary. So we have a variety of activities that we do, and that's usually one overnight. Just to say, we usually are all staying on in rooms on one hall. So we have our own shared community. So we spend quite a bit of time together. So it's really about the group and really working and learning with the group as well. So that's my presentation. And do we want to, okay, so there's a question, yeah, so you answered that, Nancy. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you do. Because some of the programs, like usually the adult programs are in the morning. Autism Transylvania is also in the morning. And then the programs in the afternoon. So usually the students kind of mix and match. And usually the students are going, usually 2 or 3 will go together. So it works out. And then some, like last year, the public schools were on strike. And so we had to, so that the kids were coming earlier in the afternoons. So sometimes we have to adjust to the realities of as you know, what happens. in different programs. So sometimes they'll say, well, you're not going to be there today. We've got something else that we've got to do. And so we work with the students to accommodate that. But the social workers in each of the programs work with the students as well. So usually you can negotiate some of those issues. Okay. Hello, Dr. Battle.
Hello, Dr. Davis. Good to see you. Good to see all of my colleagues.
Yeah.
Great presentation. I can't wait for more. I want to sign up for all these study abroad opportunities.
Please do. All right, so are there any other questions or should we go on? Any other just any other specific questions about the Romania program, and then we can. So let me put the there's a question here about the prices. So let me you can take a look at the application and the prices, because it varies, depends on your. So here is the application link. And you can look at that and it gives you the different. Just a minute. There we go. That'll give you the prices. And I think right now it's the prices from last year. So it may vary a little bit, but not, I wouldn't think it would vary a lot. And if you have questions like scholarships, application, do reach out to Study Abroad, because they're the ones that will help you through that process. They manage the application process. Okay, if there's no other questions, shall we move? Chen, do you want to?
Sure, thank you. Like Dr. Beto, I want to switch to Romania program too. So thank you again.
We'll have to share. Sometimes we'll have to do both.
Yes. So can you guys see my screen, the Taiwan Studyable PowerPoint? Okay, good. So I will quickly spend about like 15 minutes to go over the program and then answer any question too. So first, just remember these two images related to Taiwan Studyable. But I want to take a moment to introduce our faculty and the staff. So again, my name is Zhenzong Huang. This is my email. So after today's presentation, if you have any question, feel free to email me. And as I said in the beginning, this is the first time we're running this program. Although I have been running China Studyable program since 2011, about 9 times now. But for Taiwan, this is the first time. And I'm very happy that we have additional faculty and staff joining us. And the first one is Dr. Beto, who is right here. So don't switch to Romania. You can stay in Taiwan program with me. And then we have Patricia Finney, and we also have Grace Tan. This is all the program staff so far. And this class, unlike to Romania program, this is a 3-credit elective course. Consider it's your one elective course. And the central idea, as you know, is meditation and the social work. So that's the first logo, meditation. And as just briefly introduced, the idea is to using all this practice the individual can use, such as mindfulness, and to train our attention and awareness, and to achieve a mental clear state, stable state. And that's the brief, simple definition for meditation. And as for social work, as you all know, is a profession to helping individual and the family overcome their challenge and enhance their well-being. So these two things are distant area, but they are interconnected. As you can see, they are all promoting physical and mental well-being. And in our class, the things I want to do is to strengthen the link between these two areas, meditation and the social work. So in the time there, and also before we go to there, we would like introducing the development of meditation, including Buddhism tradition and the mindfulness program, and then review the development of social work practice in Taiwan. And then again, to emphasize the connection and then integrate these two ideas together. So that's mainly our course. And the student will have a chance to participate in meditation practice and also explore the connection between these two in Taiwan. So that's the basic course description. And about the time, like Nomea program, we have 1 week pre-departure section. So between about May 8 to 15, in this week, we will provide all this information, meditation, social work around the world in Taiwan online, and students will be able to read and discuss all this material online. And we will leave on May 15, 1 day after the Romania program, and we will arrive in Taiwan 16, and between 16 and 30, so it's 2 weeks time, we will study abroad in Taiwan. And then this is the first week. And the second week, the first week will be in Taipei. The hosting university will be National Taiwan University. And the second week, we will go to a new Taipei city, just outside a little bit of Taipei, in a mountain area. And the hosting university is Drama Zhuang Institute of Liberal Arts. And in both weeks, in the morning, we have arranged a lecture, agency, foundation, government office visit to learn more about meditation and the social work in Taiwan. And then in the afternoon, we will go to see all this cultural visit and also participate on exchange activities. And so just briefly, the Taipei, this is the Taipei area, and it's between Hong Kong, Japan, Philippines, and mainland China. So that's brief pictures. So again, this is the first time running this program. So unlike Becky, I have so many beautiful pictures. I only have picture from Google, and this is from Google download as well. And this is Taipei City. This high tall building is building they call 101 building, Taipei 101 101. And we will go to the mindful hiking on the mountain, and this will be a view we will see from the mountain. And this is the National Taiwan University, our base for the first week. And National Taiwan University considered is one of the best university in Taiwan. At least I believe this because I graduated from there. So this is Taiwan National University, and the second university will be here, as I mentioned to you, in the mountain area, is a Drama Zhuang Institute of Liberal Arts. And we will have our meditation camp in here as well. So again, arrive on May 19, and for the housing, and in first week in Taipei, we'll live in the local hotel around National Taiwan University, and it's very close by, very very safe location. And the second week, we just stay in a university dorm in Drama Institute of Liberal Arts. And unlike to Romania program, because I guess that many of you cannot really speak Chinese Mandarin, so we do a group meal. Like we eat together, all 3 meals. That we all eat together. And if you have any food preference, please let me know. And the weather in Taiwan in May is very good. It's not that hot. I think it's a good time to go at that time. Temperature is around between around 80s. And for the program cost, like Romania program, it range based on your status, like undergraduate, graduate in New Jersey, out of New Jersey, and this is the price. A little bit higher compared to Romania, and again, it's because we including all the meals and all the expense you will spend in Taiwan, including hotel, meal, transportation, cultural exchange activities. But this money does not including airfare, and the airfare, and I check, usually that the price will increase. So if you decide to go, we need to make sure that they move along very quickly. The price right now is about like around 1,200 to 1,500 round trip from New York area to Taiwan. And it maybe start to increase after March or April. And the visa, if you are American, you don't need a visa going to Taiwan. And if you are not American citizen, please let me know and I can check out the information for you. So that's pretty much my presentation. I don't know if anyone have any question, or Dr. Beto and Grace, do you have anything you'd like to add?
I just want to add what a great opportunity it is for students to participate in any of our study abroad activities. And I'm glad to see some of our undergraduate students included in this info session today. I hope some of them will have some questions that they can put in the chat or ask out loud as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beto.
Yes.
Go ahead, Nancy.
Yes, there is a question in the chat about choosing the airfare. Chen, do you want to speak about that for your program?
Sure. We usually open up for students. I will give you some suggestion, and it is your option to choose which airline you like to take. You only need to arrive in Taiwan by May 16th. So you can choose any airline you like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just in response to what Dr. Battle says, is we welcome both graduate and undergraduate students. And it's nice to see the diversity and combination that and like I said, sometimes we have non-social work students that sometimes later decide to become social workers because of the program.
There are some questions in the chat about if financial aid covers.
Okay, so maybe I can jump in these questions. But for the payment, everything goes through Rutgers Study Abroad. You apply from there, you pay to Rutgers Study Abroad. Once you apply, you'll see that all the payment, I think once you decide to go, is 500 deposit, and then you need to pay the rest of the amount probably sometime in May or June, maybe before around May. Yeah, everything goes. It's like one regular class. Rutgers University will bill you and they will charge you, and you need to pay before the deadline. So that's the first one. The second question, May 16, right now, so far, the direct flight by Air China and EVA Air both arrive like early morning about 5:30 a.m. So if you take this, I will arrange the bus to pick us up. I think that Dr. Beto, Grace, and I, we will all take the direct flight. And if you take indirect flight, transfer somewhere, usually landing around in the afternoon or evening, and then we can discuss. Either you can go to hotel by yourself, or I ask someone to pick you up. In Taiwan, is public transportation is very easy, and people is able to communicate with you in English. So usually it's not a big problem there. And the financial aid, I know that the studyable office informed me that they have a couple of scholarships available for this program. And once you apply, you will see the link regarding financial aid and the scholarship.
The study abroad they will have regular online sessions with someone to work with you on the financing. Kelly is one that does that, Kelly Andrade. And but they can advise you if they do have scholarships, and then if your financial aid will cover, they can help you with that. They're the ones that know that information. And just to add about paying, because Tamira, you had asked about that. The first thing you do is you have the $35 payment for the that's the application fee. And once you start the application, then you can initiate the process for asking about scholarships. And then once the thing that makes you that says, okay, I'm going to do this, that's the $500 down payment. So there's a $500 down payment that I think would have to be made by April 15th or something like that, April 1st, or there's a deadline for that. And at that point, that's when we know how many are committed. And we do not advise you to buy an airline ticket or anything until we know that there's enough to make the program. In general, we haven't had problems with that. The programs have filled up. These programs, summer programs, have filled up without any problem. But do reach out to study abroad. And you mentioned Lloyd earlier, Tamira, because he can also put you in touch.
I'd like to weigh in and also just say that, put a plug in, that we have, on yesterday, we had a presentation on financial aid through the undergraduate social work program. And we're going to have another presentation this evening. I'll try to put it in the link. And the unique thing about this presentation is that it looks at institutional support, as well as state and federal support. And yesterday, our presenter, Janelle Paneco, who is one of our undergraduate seniors, who works in the state office for financial aid, she was able to show us scholarships, where you can link for scholarships, and there may be some unique opportunities that you can find through that presentation as well. And then the other thing I'll just add, if I could, is when you're booking your flights, I know that we look for the cheapest flights that we can find, but you also should bear in mind that sometimes things happen when you're traveling. And so if there's a way to get a good flight that does not keep you from making some changes in your itinerary, if something happens, then that would be something to consider.
Okay, we have a couple of questions here. Intensive weekend students, yes, you can participate in the programs. Generally, the 2-week program has been, that's been the summer programs have been very, worked out very well for intensive weekend students. But for either program, intensive weekend students are available to work. And then we have a question, Dr. Battle, maybe you know this. If you are finishing up the BASW program and going into the MSW program, can you do one of these electives?
This is a great question, a wonderful question. Yeah, and it's something that I think I would myself individually follow up to try to get some clarification. In particular, the Taiwan study abroad students return 2 days before the advanced standing program, and the amazing opportunity to Romania comes in a couple of weeks. We made some changes to advanced standing in recent years where students are not required, I don't believe, to do their practicum internships during the summer. I'm hoping that there can be some flexibility with students having the opportunity to participate in our summer study abroad and still, move right into advanced standing.
Yeah, I could add a little bit here. You do have to check with an advisor if you're entering the advanced standing program, because there are, even though the practicum doesn't start in the summer, there are advanced standing classes that are required in the summer. And so you would have to check and whether they're online or in person. You'd have to check on that to be sure that you could participate even with the summer required classes.
Jordan?
Hello. Hi, guys. I know I'm your favorite Dr. Battle, but would we be coded as an MSW student or undergrad still, since it's technically before it, or would it be grad?
Good question. So if you finish your undergraduate program prior to the summer study abroads, the summer study abroads take place just after our university commencement and our undergraduate schools convocation. So you would officially, if you participate in graduation, you've met all the requirements, you would then be considered an MSW student. There may be some exceptions if a student has to complete something, an undergraduate student has to complete something in the summer session. You might still be coded as an undergraduate student, but by and large, most students would be MSW students.
So you would have to check about the required classes for advanced standing students during the summer. And as a general rule, all of you that are interested in these programs should communicate with your student affairs advisor to confirm, how this fits in with your specific course sequencing, because there are some nuances to that. So all of you should really be checking in with your advisors about how this fits in with your sequencing.
And Emily asked, when do classes start for the traditional advanced standing?
So on the calendar, it's the 28th of May that I believe
Okay.
orientation begins. So the program begins on the 28th of May. Yeah, thank you, Jordan. It's in the chat. Yeah,
so do check with your advisor. Your respective advisors, just to make sure that it will fit within your academic program.
Right, the Romania program is aligned with certificate programs, except the ACT program, where a dedicated addictions placement is required. But again, if you're intend on applying to a certificate program, you want to talk with the certificate director about how this fits in with your sequencing. And I could just add a little bit of detail about the Romania program that is a practicum credit course. So for undergraduates, that would be the Romania program would count as a 6-credit practicum course. And so that would be your practicum 1, essentially. For MSW students, it would also count as practicum credit, but it would be 3-credit practicum course for MSW students and 6-credit for undergraduates for the Romania program. And basically, since you get credit for 1 semester for the Romania program, you then have a choice of completing your second practicum 2 or practicum 4 in the spring of 2025 at the usual number of hours. Or you can spread out that spring course that you would normally take in spring. You could spread it out over fall and spring at a reduced number of hours. So instead of 22.5 hours per week, you could spread it out so that you're completing 11.25 hours per week for the full year. So we could go over in more detail about this, but again, you want to talk with your advisor, and I'm happy to answer questions about how it fits in with practicum for the Romania program.
Thank you. And this may be new information for some, but our undergraduate students are required to take at least 3 social work electives. That's a part of the required curriculum now. And our study abroad opportunities are included in the list of electives. So it's a great way to meet the requirements for social work electives by participating in any of our study abroad opportunities. That's news that's hot off the press.
No, that's
great.
terrific.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the winter session is a Mexico program. So
Absolutely.
that one is a 3-hour elective as well. So stay tuned for that. But that one does accommodate advanced standing.
So I just want to add here, I'm sorry, Becky, did you have more?
No, that was all.
In terms of the cost of the program, for the Romania program, the cost of the Romania program includes, because it counts as a practicum course, that includes the tuition that you would normally pay for the practicum class. So that you're not charged twice. The cost of the Romania program includes that tuition for the practicum for undergraduate and graduate.
Right. And then the Taiwan program includes the tuition for the elective.
Yes.
So that's an advantage because you're not paying full tuition. There is a reduced, the study abroad, the way they have figured this out with the registrar, because you're not on campus, there is a reduced tuition cost. So in the end, you know, a lot of what you're paying is for the accommodations and the other expenses. So and in the elective as well, you did you talk about the assignments? You have the reflections. You would have the reflections at also a final
Yes.
research assignment.
Yes. Semester one, Mexico will use.
Yeah, we liked those reflections. I mean, the reflection, you know, that's key for learning experiences, and particularly experiential learning experiences. There have been some questions. I know some of you are undergraduates, and then maybe you'll be MSW program, but there were some questions about being able to do like, you know, two of the programs. And we do have students that, you know, maybe do like the field education program and then maybe one of the electives as well. So again, those are things you just want to check with your advisor to see. Online students are also welcome, as well as intensive weekend. Other questions?
Emily, did you have your question answered that you put in the chat? No? Okay.
I think she
Good,
Yeah.
great.
did. No, the Israel program is suspended right now. Well, any other questions or thoughts?
I just placed in the chat the link for the meeting tonight on financial aid. Just want to make sure the students, everyone sees that.
Oh, that's terrific. And is that with the
Yeah, so this is, yes, this is with one of our undergraduate seniors whose practicum learning, one of our assignments was to create a presentation on financial aid. And so Janea Paneco is the one who's presenting. She presented yesterday and is offering it in the evening for students who couldn't attend yesterday, and it's right on point with some of the questions that have been put in the chat about financial aid for financial aid period, but in particular scholarships and things that might match up with study abroad.
Oh, that's terrific. And there's a question if it's going to be recorded, so.
Well, I did record it yesterday. It has to go into post-production because I recorded it on my desktop. That will need a little work. But the questions did not focus on specific around financial aid for study abroad. So I think it would be great if there are those who can attend tonight and ask those kind of questions. It would be interesting to see what Janaea can help us figure out.
Dwayne, could you look at the chat and see there was another question from Lauren?
Okay. If you're a senior, required electives are added to the curriculum. Does it still apply? Lauren, because this is a requirement that is put in the middle of your academic journey, you're not going to be required. The only requirement I would make would be that you strongly consider study abroad.
Oh, I see. So if it doesn't apply if you're already in the pipeline.
Yeah, am I gonna make them stay around to complete the electives? only study abroad.
Always good to ask.
Yeah. Thank you, Lauren.
And we're going into second year in MSW. Do we still plan our field placement regularly?
I think I understand the question. So if you're applying to the Taiwan program, you can plan regularly for your advanced year practicum, because that would begin in September or last week in August, first week in September. If you're interested in the Romania program, you would have to let us know that you're interested in applying to the Romania program. So the planning would be a little bit different. You'd have to then decide if you'll spread out your field 4 hours over the full academic year, September through April, or just take practicum 4 in spring at the usual rate. So we would, and then in terms of your placement, the answer to those questions would have to be determined so that you could advise your field placement specialist in terms of when you're planning to be in your practicum. Is that helpful, Jessica? If you had other questions, you can always email me.
Yeah, I think we have about eight already approved for Romania. Very good group to get today. Nice to have everyone here. And
So there's a message in the chat also. Amy asked, is there financial aid for grad students who want to study abroad? And so Amy, some of the information that's already been given is for, especially through study abroad, is for grad students, undergrad students, any student that's seeking study abroad opportunities.
Yep, and they have the scholarships are for both graduate and undergraduate, but they're kind of first come, first served too.
Great.
That
Amy,
those is,
Amy responded, thank you.
any other questions that you'll have?
Will there be another separate, I guess, info section to let us know about because I applied for Romania, so I'm wondering if there will be another section of okay, when we land there, how we're gonna get to the university or such like that. Sorry, I just came
Yes.
in. I just had class, so I wasn't here for the first half. I'm sorry about that.
Yes, we'll have pre-departure orientations. Yes,
Okay.
once we have the group, and one of the things we said earlier, just for those that came in later, is once you make the application, then they are sent to us to review. And then once and we read them and review them on a rolling basis. So as they come in, we review them and then go ahead and start the process. And then once study abroad, once the down payments are made, then we will we will have our group and then organize the pre-departures. The pre-departures generally now are this way online. We have study abroad also has some pre-departures, health and safety that you have to review. So there you will be prepared.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know we're winding down here, so I want to just go on record for those who are still here and say you should spread the word and invite other classmates to join you on study abroad. It's a great experience to have with people that you're studying with and people in your friend circle as well.
Yeah, and now, I've heard students say, oh, I can't do that. I can't afford it. Without, actually looking into doing it. So do spread the word because there are some good study abroad, even though the scholarships aren't going to cover everything, they're, they do help. But again, it's important to do it early.
Hi, sorry, this is a weird question, just finances wise. I know if we're taking less credits for practicum, I'm a MSW student, so if we're taking less credits, for example, because this is 3 credits for practicum, in the spring, does that reduce our spring semester cost a little bit because it's 3 less credits? Or how would that work?
Nancy, you're muted.
Sorry, could you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. So I know these are 3 credits for practicum. So say I'm squeezing all of my hours into one semester, which means I wouldn't have practicum for the second semester. Would that make any difference in the cost wise for my
Right. So
students?
what happens is you're entering into your advanced year next year.
Mhm. Yeah.
So if you participated in the Romania program, you would then have a choice to spread out your practicum 4 hours over the full year, in which case, instead of registering for 3-credit practicum course, we would register you for a special 1.5 credit roster. So that course would be obviously based on 1.5, not the 3. So that if you were to complete your practicum for all your hours in spring semester, spring 2025, that would be a 3-credit practicum course. You would register as you usually do, and the payment would be based on the 3-credit.
Okay, gotcha.
Does
So
that
it
answer your question?
yeah, so it just varies based on the credits we're taking.
Right, so if you're
okay,
spreading out the practicum 4 hours over the full year, it would be reduced based on a 1.5 credit each semester. Or if you're completing the 3 credits in spring 2025.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much.
I think there is one question from Emily regarding Taiwan's program. So we come back about the other class advanced standing start on May 28th. So you will miss 2 days, but if this class is online, and there should be no problem. In our hotel, we have Wi-Fi, so you are able to log in from Taiwan to participate in this online class. But if this is face-to-face, you may miss the first class, and then you should contact your instructor and discuss the solution. And we come back on Thursday, so I don't know which day is your class. But usually we are able to work out with the individual instructor.
And Nancy responded to Rhodes' question. Thank you, Nancy. Dr. Wong, I think we're practicing meditation.
Yes, we are. But in the meantime, if any question, I'm sure that Becky and I, we both are happy to answer online over the Zoom.
Yep. And it's best to get that application started.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was really informative. I'm excited if I could do it. Bye, guys. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.